Hi, how you doing? My name is Brian. This is Steve. We're with California Ocean Adventures, and today we're going to be talking about the Sunnto D5 dive computer. Something I've been diving with for a while. Steve's going to go over some of the features real quick, and then we'll have a little discussion about it.
Alright, so we have the Sunnto D5 computer here. So it has dive and free dive modes. It is air integrated with the Sunnto tank pod. It has 3-button navigation, nitrox compatible, most computers are these days, rechargeable battery, vibration and audible alarms. It comes in 2 different colors with either a black face or the stainless steel face, replaceable wrist straps, which is a nice silicone comfy wrist strap. It is Bluetooth integrated, so you can actually upload or download your dive data to your phone or computer after your dives. And a digital compass as well. Full color screen, very nice, easy to read, legible. Yeah, what do you think of this?
Well, as you know, I've been diving with this computer since it came out, pretty much since March of 2019 is when I first started diving with it. It's the first Sunnto I've actually had. I've really enjoyed it. I've used it mainly, I got it mainly for free diving, as you know. It's extremely comfortable. When I first got it, it became my everyday watch. It's a little heavy, it's a little heavy. It's got a nice heft to it, but I think that's just because it's so well made. I mean, Steve's seen the kind of diving we do. When we're spearfishing, I'll bang this thing against rocks. I don't care. Like, it's fine. It comes with a nice little, rubberized kind of screen protector that you can put on when you first get it, and it's held up really well. The screen is incredibly easy to read, both on land and underwater. It's just a very legible, very easy to read. Just, you'll never have a problem with that. The software on it, I love it. I really love it. I love the phone software, and I love, the menu system and the navigation on the dive computer itself. Charging is really easy. It's a magnet. You click it on there, and it's charging. And it charges relatively quick, and the battery life on it is actually quite good. When it's fully charged, it'll say 11 or 12 hours, and that's dive time. That's not time on land when I'm just worrying about my day. And it seems to be pretty true to it. When it says you've got an hour of dive time left, you have at least an hour of dive time left. So I very much appreciate that. Steve mentioned the compass, which was, when I played with this the first time at a trade show before it came out, I couldn't put it down because it was just so fun to play with. And when we have our close-ups, you'll see it. It was really cool. It goes around the bezel. And I thought, well, I'm getting this for free diving. I don't really need to use a compass when I'm free diving. And then I found when I was diving, I would, see something I wanted to look at, get a compass heading. I could do my drop, have a good body position so I didn't have to, crane my neck to look at the bottom and mess up my dive. And I'd get to the bottom, if I looked up and, I'm pointed the wrong way, I could just grab my compass, so that's where I wanted to go. And then I can get right to where I was going. So I very much like that. I think it's a good looking watch. When people notice it, they're like, that's a cool looking watch. Looks a little bit like the Garmin dive, or I forget what the Garmin model is called, but people have thought, what is it?
The Descent.
The Descent, yeah. So people have commented, oh, it's not the Garmin. I'm like, oh no, this is Sunnto. This is specialized. The Garmin's a great computer, but it's not air integrated. So I both scuba dive and free dive, and I use this now for both. So it's nice to be able to have air integration as well. The different modes are really nice. Once you're in the mode, like freediving mode, you've got three different screens that you can choose from to use, which is nice. And if there's some software you can download where you can actually kind of customize that a little bit as to what information you're seeing on the screen. So that's what I really like about it. So Steve, you not having dove with it, what can you tell the people that maybe are thinking about getting one?
For me, I'm a big fan of color screens. They're easy to read, they're bright, so especially like night dives, you don't have to worry about any kind of backlight, which comes in really handy. I have yet to test the compass on this, but with most digital compasses that I've used, they're a separate screen, so you have to switch over to them and you aren't getting the dive information while you're using it. So I like that aspect that it's kind of always there around the edge of the bezel. I don't know if there's a way to actually set a waypoint on it. I assume there is.
I have not
But
done that.
that is another feature I'm always curious about when it comes to digital compasses. I like the feel of the straps. It seems soft. I'm not particularly a watch person because it tends to irritate me. But this seems like a material that wouldn't bug me as much as your kind of the older school rubber wrist straps.
Yeah, I can tell you, having worn it for a long time, it is quite comfortable to wear.
Beyond that, the one thing that bugs me, and it's not so much this computer itself, but it's Sunnto in general, is the conservancy of their algorithm for diving. It's a little too conservative for my tasting. I dive a D6i right now, and compared to my Oceanic computer, the D6i always gives me less time. I have been locked out of my D6i, whereas my Oceanic computer didn't lock me out, which meant I went from diving with 2 computers, having one as a backup, to not being able to use my Sunnto at all for 24 hours. And during a trip, that's a bit of a problem. If you're more of a conservative diver, this makes sense. Sunnto's a great computer. They do what they do well. But I know there is a way to adjust the conservancy. I haven't played with it. I don't know if Brian's played with it yet.
I just changed it like a week ago, so I haven't gone scuba diving with it since, but I'm gonna send Steve out with it tomorrow, so we'll get hopefully a better comparison of what that's like. And on that note, I do have the algorithm under one of my my T sheet of likes and dislikes. The algorithm is one thing I had under the dislike, and for the same reason, I also dive an Oceanic computer, and I'll basically be comparing them. And yeah, the Sunnto will always give me less time. Now, I was able to go into the menu and change it to a more aggressive algorithm. So, like I said, I have yet to see if that brings it more in line with the Oceanic. And the other thing about Sunnto is Sunnto's always changing their algorithm, which is cool. They're constantly doing research. So their algorithms change. So I haven't done a software update on this yet, which I plan on doing before Steve takes it out. Sorry, so he'll be my guinea pig. So that was one of my dislikes. Really the only other dislikes I have for it are, for me, the price. For a Sunnto, it's not crazy expensive. But this one, the all black, this guy right here is $899, so it's a $900 computer. If you go with the stainless steel bezel, it's $849, a little bit better. So that was one slight turnoff for me, but I still bought it. One other thing that's just an annoyance with Sunntos with me, at least the one Steve has and the one I'm using now, is if I switch modes between scuba and freediving, it reboots, and it doesn't reboot super fast. It's not super slow either, but it's just a slight annoyance. Mm-hmm. And the only other thing when I'm teaching freediving in the pool, I don't use this watch for one big reason, and that is the timer. You start the timer and it'll start counting and you can read it, but then that screen will go away. You kind of have to hit the timer again to bring it back up. So if I have a student with their face in the water doing a static breath hold, that can be a little bit of an annoyance, so I use just a basic stopwatch for that now. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I really love the computer. I love the different straps. I dive in a dry suit, so this strap doesn't fit around my dry suit. So I use the longer, large strap when I do that, and they're really easy to switch out. It's just a pin, kind of like other watchmakers that have that. But other than that, it's a great computer, and I've sold a bunch of them. I highly recommend them. Freedivers seem to love them. The freedive mode is pretty amazing. It also gives me my ascent and descent rate, which is another thing that I really love, because that's some valuable information as well. So anything else you want to talk about, Steve?
With this computer, as we said, it is air integrated. We don't have a tank
we don't
pod
have a tank
for
pod
it.
to show
So
you,
it uses the Sunnto tank pod. My D6i that I dive with, I do use the air integrated, which I've noticed can be a little finicky. I assume this one's similar. One of the downsides with the Sunnto transmitters is when you change into the dive mode, and it connects to the transmitter each time. So you do have to be within proximity, at least with my D6i, which can be a little finicky if I don't have it close enough when I first change to dive mode. So I've had dives where I, turned on, and for some reason it goes to dive mode, but it doesn't pair with the transmitter. So I dive with a standard pressure gauge as a backup, but I prefer looking in one place for all my dive information. I don't know, because the D6i uses a different transmitter from Sunnto, if it's been solved with the Sunnto tank pod, but obviously the tank pod is for their Eon Steel, Eon Core, and Sunnto D5 computers, which is their higher end computers. Beyond that, I am curious to see how noticeable vibration alarms are.
So the vibration alarms is, so I dive in here in central northern California, or northern central California. I have the beeps and the audible alarms turned off, and I do dive the vibration alarms. If you're thinking about it, you can kind of feel it through a 5mm wetsuit, so I'll have a 5mm wetsuit, and then it actually goes over the wrist of my glove. So if I'm thinking about it, I'll feel it, and every once in a while, I'll feel it, and it'll kind of grab my attention. When I was in the Sea of Cortez, and I had it on my skin, you feel it it's a very positive alarm. You can feel it. And that's actually nice, especially if you're spearfishing pelagic fish. You don't want to scare them off with beeping, and you don't want to annoy your buddies. So it is kind of nice to just kind of get those alarms of just a vibration. So that is actually another thing I forgot to mention that I really do love about it. I wish my old freedive computer would do that as well, instead of the beeps that you can barely hear.
Yeah. Beyond that, so the stainless steel bezel is $849. The all black is $899. If you're getting the tank pod as well, tank pods will range from $399 to $429, $439. Sunnto does have deals going on occasionally. There is one as we're recording this right now, where if you get the D5 with the tank pod, or the Sunnto Eon Steel with the tank pod, you get $300 off. So that tank pod only costs you $99. So check with your dive shop. It's a great savings, especially if you dive integrated. It just simplifies everything.
Yeah.
But I like the computer. I look forward to testing it out. It's got a lot of great features. I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons. Most of them are just minor inconveniences. They're not make or break issues with the computer.
Yeah, I would definitely call the cons minor annoyances. Other than the price, if you're a college student eating top ramen for dinner every night, yeah, maybe you got to save up a little bit for this. But even if you did that, I would say it's worth it. It's a very easy, very comfortable, very nice watch to experience when you're out there in the water. So I like it very much. So I think that's about it. We're going to do a little short video of the features and the menus as well. We might be able to tag it onto this. It's running a little long, so we might have a separate video for that, so look for that. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. You can also go to our website at www.caoceanadventures.com and leave comments if there's anything you wanted to add to this. If anybody does have that tank pod, if they want to tell us, it's solid, never had a problem, that would be awesome. If you have any questions, let us know. Anything else, Steve?
That's it.
All right.
Happy diving.
Thanks for watching.